there have been some positive developments in the last 24 hours, but the overall situation at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant remains very serious. Efforts to restore electrical power on the site continue. Off-site electrical power has been connected to the local substation for Units 2 today. Work is continuing under difficult conditions to connect power from the substation to the reactor building. Seawater is still being injected into the reactor pressure vessels of Units 1, 2 and 3. Water injection is not needed for Unit 4 as the reactor is in outage. White smoke or vapour from Unit 3 is still being observed, but is less intense than on previous days. Spraying of the reactor building with water is in progress. Following an initial rise in pressure in the Unit 3 pressure vessel, plans were made to vent the vessel should it become necessary. However, from information recently received from NISA, they have decided not to vent as the vessel pressure has started to reduce, which is good news. The situation in the reactor spent fuel ponds is relatively stable, but is still of concern. Spraying of water into the pool of Units 4 started yesterday. The agency still lacks data on water levels and temperatures at the spent fuel pools at Units 1, 2, 3 and 4. A positive development is that cooling has been restored to the reactor pressure vessels in Units 5 and 6. Temperatures in the spent fuel pools at these two units, which had been rising in the last few days, have now fallen significantly to around 40 degrees centigrade. In fact, I think I heard the latest figures now 32, from a maximum of about 69 degrees yesterday. 2 diesel generators, one for each unit, are providing electricity. Radiation levels in major Japanese cities have not changed significantly since yesterday and remain below those which are dangerous to human health. The IAEA radiation monitoring team took additional measurements yesterday between Tokyo and locations up to 150 kilometers from the Fukushima site. Dose rates were typically a few microsieverts per hour, which compares to a typical background level of around 0.1 microsieverts per hour. From the measurements taken within the exclusion zone, no significant alpha radiation has been detected so far. This morning we received additional data from the agency's monitoring team, which indicated contamination on the ground at a location 50 to 70 kilometers from the Fukushima site. The team will make confirmatory measurements tomorrow at the same locations to help validate the initial results. Grass and other samples have also been taken by the team from various locations in the Fukushima prefecture for analysis. In the coming days, the IAEA monitoring team plans to take measurements at the same locations monitored by the Japanese authorities. This will assist in the validation of measurements. The IAEA is sending additional monitoring experts to Japan to supplement its capabilities in the field. Some results on the monitoring of foodstuffs have been made available by Japan to the IAEA and FAO. We can confirm that measurements indicating that in some areas, iodine-131 in milk and in freshly grown leafy vegetables, such as spinach and spring onions, is significantly above the levels set by Japan for restricting consumption of these food products. Finally, the Director General has, as you know, returned to Vienna, and he will be briefing the Board of Governors on Monday on the outcome of his visit to Tokyo. Thank you.